We have a guest, the
Yes.
president of Nigeria Archery Federation, Muhammed Abdullahi, who just was elected vice president of African Archery Federation. Open, we have Abdullahi Muhammed. Good morning, sir.
Morning, how you doing?
It's good to have you, sir. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on the program today.
Yes, you've been pushing this sport archery for a very long time. You've taken it to the level where it is, and we are not talking about it because I know that if people like you don't push about this sport, there won't be reasons why Nigerians will be talking about it. So, what does your election, what does your new post, what does it mean? What does Nigerian gain from you being the vice president of African Archery Federation?
Well, talking about the games, let's take a little bit look at what transpired between the time we took over and where we are today. Yeah, it started, from a very humble beginning with a very committed board. Of course, we started the gospel. I'm sure you are also an ardent follower of these sports. That much I can say.
Yeah.
You know where we started and where we are today. Graciously, this is the first tournament that we will be going for in Africa, and I haven't done the best we could. We came out with 2 silver medals. I mean, that is as good as having a gold medal at any sporting event. Our election, coming to talk about our election, yes, Nigeria won that seat because of what we've been doing in the past. In West Africa, I think between Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire, these are the 2 countries that have been doing tremendously very well. And our achievement both at the championship and of course the election, speaks volume for our commitment to this sport. And we're so grateful to you, especially the media, for what you've been doing for us. And I think that is one of the things that has gingered not only the athletes, of course, sponsors and fans of the sports. And for us to have won this election, it is for the country, because most of the things that we'll be doing as a confederation from now onwards, will emanate from Nigeria. Nigeria incidentally happened to be controlling 2 zones, and we are the only zone that has 2 sub-regions to control. We have the Central and West Africa. Every other zone has just 1. South Africa is just South African regional zone. East, the same thing, East Africa. North is just North Africa. But our West, incidentally, we are controlling both West and Central Africa. And of course, the headquarters automatically of the sub-region is in Nigeria. And so whatever we are going to be doing as a body, as a sub-regional body, it starts from Nigeria and ends in Nigeria. The gospel today is for us to remain very, very committed in terms of publicity, in terms of participation, in terms of sponsorship, in terms of followership. We owe the public nothing less and nothing more than that.
Yes, so what does Nigeria intends to gain now that it seems that we are controlling so much of seats? What are we to gain from you being the vice president of African Archery Federation? I guess we still have...
yeah, sure. A lot, because like I said, to now having a resource center, West and Central Africa Resource Center, which is of course expected to be established here in Nigeria. So it shows that, it means that both resource persons that are going to come from the international and the African level all will be converging here in Nigeria. Trainees also will be converging here in Nigeria. And of course, it will attract a lot of resources to us in terms of equipment. It will also improve our facility for the sports, and of course, bringing the sports closer to the people in Nigeria. Of course, our athletes, I'm happy that so much has been committed by the athletes. Like the last championship we went to, personal efforts, had to come in. And if we had not done all this, we wouldn't have gotten to where we are. So for us to have this back home here, to control the sports in Africa, in West and Central Africa. Of course, the result, you can expect that it will always be better than ever because, one, so many things are going to, be taking place in Nigeria. Nigeria automatically becomes the converging point for both athletes, officials, and the technical crew of archery as far as West Africa and Central Africa is concerned.
Yes, lastly, without wasting of our time, I just wonder what are the challenges that the Federation still faces to enable the sports to grow? We don't have much time, but I'm sure you quickly round that up for us as we look at the challenges the Federation is facing.
Well, we're facing several challenges, just like every other federation, but ours is very peculiar because the kind of equipment we use, the kind of gears we use for the sports, the kind of facilities we require for the sports is not pocket friendly. You want to liken archery to like hit a golfer. Archery, to hit a complete archer, you'll be talking about minimally, if you don't have anything, at least 1.2 million naira. To kit an archer. And that is just like medium measure to kit an archer. But if you want a complete archer with the standard and the best equipment you have in this world, you won't be talking about less than 4 million naira. But having said that, the challenges are very, very enormous. Like I said, the sports is not very popular in Nigeria until we started, and we're just taking it now to the public domain. And we hope that we will be able to get the sympathy, we'll be able to get the patronage, we'll be able to get the followership that we require. Only and only if a lot of investment will come in from both government and the private sector. We have that challenges. Two, grooming the athletes, is another thing entirely because this sport is not very popular in Nigeria. We need to actually get equipment that are very, very pocket friendly. And that is like improvising and providing for the athletes and officials locally made balls. And that is the beginning. That is just the beginning of the journey. And then with that, you'll be able to know how to aim, you'll be able to know how to release your targets. So these are some of the challenges that we have because the equipment are not readily available. You have to order and you have to wait until it comes. Thank God the world body was able to, give us a pace to start from the beginning by donating, by granting us equipment and training a trainer that came to Nigeria to train the trainers, and of course, the effect of it today is the result we just see.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations, President, for doing this for Nigeria. Keep the flag flying. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, that is the president of Nigeria Archery Federation, who has just been elected as the president of African Archery Federation.